Hey there, guys. It's your boy Acris. We're back with some trails to Azure. And right now we're in Maine's mining village, of course, because thanks to your bus, we know that there was a hidden side quest here. And I'm more than sure that it has something to do with our buddy here, Nielsen. But before we speak to him, I just wanted to say this part is being recorded a little bit earlier than my usual time, but the reason is because I got a little bit of free time right now before I leave out in a second. But I'm gonna be back to record at my usual time too. So this is more like an extra part. I wanted to see if I could knock out this side quest before I have to dip. But we'll be uploading a lot more today too, so don't worry about it. Mr. Nielsen. Hmm. Is that you, Lloyd? Yes. Hello again. I'm glad you remember me. I never forget the voices of those I've had the pleasure of interviewing. Is this man? Yeah, he's that famous journo they met a little while back. That's right, Marcel Nielsen. What brings you to Mainz, if I may ask? I have an interview scheduled with Mayor Bixson, as it so happens. I'll be asking him for his account on Maine's origins as a septium mining village, as well as how it has changed in the modern day. With the topic of independence looming over Crossbell, I thought it pertinent to reflect on the state's history. Not a bad idea. That's a very insightful perspective to have, for lack of better phrase. I'll consider it a compliment. The circumstances do give me a penchant for taking things the long way around. But enough about me. I heard you all contributed to stopping the terrorist attack at the trade conference. With that in mind, I have the urge to interview you about the matter. Would you mind terribly? You see, there are several lingering questions I have regarding the motivations behind that attack. I suspect speaking with you all will help me uncover the meaning of it all. The meaning behind a terrorist attack? That may be difficult to divulge. Tio's right. Information about that case is restricted to members of the state government and police force. Even if we do take your questions, we'll be pretty limited in what we can disclose. We'll probably be perfectly fine with that, honestly. He'll probably be able to make something out of it. It's understandable and well within my expectations. Nevertheless, I believe there is still merit to be had in discussing the matter. What do you say? Our last interview with him was definitely insightful. Participating in a second one could be a good idea if we have the time. Let's help with Nielsen's coverage. Alright, we'll agree to your interview. Splendid. Thank you for your time. Let's begin right away then. West, the inside scoop, the terrorist attack started. Thank you all again for agreeing to this interview. Our topic of discussion is the recent terrorist attack that occurred at the Western Moria Trade Conference. To begin, I would like to confirm the identity of the perpetrators involved. The Could you do that for me, Lloyd? Who are the terrorists that attacked the trade conference? The Imperial Liberation Front from Erebonia? The anti-immigration faction from Calvert? Or both? It was both. Two terrorist cells from within the major powers were working in conjunction with one another. One was the Imperial Liberation Front from Erebonia. The other was comprised of members of Calvert's anti-immigration faction. That's right. Those were indeed the parties responsible. I will refrain from delving into their backgrounds and founding principles. However, it's worth noting that the two groups have no history of collaboration, and yet they mounted a united front against the conference. I am given to understand that they were abetted by a so-called society that had also been operating covertly in liberal. Yeah, the Society of Ouroboros. Thinking back, terrorists were making use of archaisms at the trade conference. Do you know of the society, Mr. Nielsen? I've come across their name before, yes. They're a bit of an enigma, to be certain. I take it your work has led you to learning of them as well. We've heard a thing or two. And the more we hear, the shadier they seem to be. At any rate, we can say definitively that their true aims are completely shrouded in mystery. Trying to deduce their objectives at this stage will be entirely in vain. I'm inclined to agree with that. Let's move on to the next topic then. I would like to review the intentions and perspectives of two major powers in regards to the attack. My sources tell me that each nation employed outside the forces in secret. Both of these forces contributed greatly to the resolution of the incident. What I find peculiar is that although the Empire and the Republic foresaw the attack, they elected not to prevent it, leaving both terror groups at large. I have to wonder why that is. What do you suppose they were trying to achieve, Lloyd? What were Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith's objectives in regards to the terrorist attack? Expose each terrorist group? Contain opposing political factions? It's probably this. Force me or Croix to resign? Okay, obviously not. Each terrorist group was backed by a political faction that stands at odds with its respective country's leader. I think their top priority was to keep those two opposing factions in check. In Chancellor Osborne's case, he was looking to put pressure on Erebonia's noble faction. As for President Rocksmith, he was looking to deter anyone who agrees with Calvert's radical nationalists. I agree. That is the only logical explanation for why they allowed the terrorists to remain at large. As a result, the public tide has turned in their favor. Citizens from either country are raising their voices against the aforementioned factions. Political leverage, then, was the end goal. On a separate note, Lloyd, you identified this as their top priority, did you not? I found that curious. Do you mean to imply that they had another objective in mind as well? Well, Lloyd. Uh-oh. Yeah, I can imagine one other objective. I also think it was to gain a foothold for their advancement into কথLove. Though, কথLove is in their crosshairs, so to speak. That much was clear as day when both leaders offered to station their troops in কথLove at the conference. Yes, and the terror attack fueled the narrative that কথLove cannot keep its borders safe by itself. Yep. That only places further pressure on the state to accept their proposals. Yep, they pretty much made us look incompetent, even though it's their damn fault in the first place that we don't have the means to actually be able to protect ourselves. They really got us. They fucked us over. The non-aggression pact that Liberal introduced has essentially lost all power as a deterrent at this point. Moreover, কথLove's independence proposal has placed it square in the public eye of both the Empire and the Republic. Yeah, that really put us on the spot with that. Thereby redirecting the attention of either country's citizens away from their domestic conflicts and discontent. Though even that was by design. I've heard of two birds with one stone. This is more like down in the flock with a boulder. Well then, I see you've all considered this in just as much detail as I have. If you don't mind, I would like to move us on to the final topic. It is apparent that two countries had a mutual understanding as far as the attack was concerned. Do you believe this to be the evidence of a greater alliance between them? A Veribonian Calvert formed an alliance through their handling of the terrorist attack. Yes, a temporary one. Yes, a permanent one. Or out of the question. Out of the question. No, I think that's out of the question. Ultimately, they both have the same objective, sole possession of কথLove. Yes, that's exactly right. In the end, the incident at the conference was no more than a one-time instance of them acting in lockstep. Furthermore, কথLove is simply too valuable for either country to let it remain as a simple buffer zone. There's no room for allyship if it aspires to take it for themselves. The parallel actions tip their hands as to their conflicting motivations. Well, for a blind man, your aim is impressive. So, this was all just a warm-up before the real thing. Eventually, they're going to go at each other's gun blazing. Yes, and I imagine the war of intelligence they're waging will only worsen from here. The increasing activity from the Jaegers and criminal syndicates in the কথLove can likely be attributed to that as well. Unfortunate as it is, I would not be surprised to see a resurgence of inexplicable incidents such as those from কথLove's past. কথLove's past. Inexplicable incidents. What do you mean? No, never mind that. Forgive me for speaking out of turn. That aside, I believe we sorted out a number of matters regarding the terror attack. Asking for this interview was a wise decision indeed. Thank you for your time. Likewise, it was very enlightening. I think we understand the current situation more clearly now. it was almost more informative than I was prepared to handle. Glad to hear you found it beneficial. It would be wonderful if we would chat like this again sometime, future circumstances permitting. Of course, we'll be more than happy to. Damn, that was it? Quest, the inside scoop to terrorist attack completed. Thank you for indulging me with an interview today, SSS. I would love to chat again should the opportunity arise. Alright, so I guess what we'll do for now is we'll go turn on these quests. And maybe we might just head over to this doll studio. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Alright, let's see. We still obviously got to do a taste of Crossbell, but we'll be doing that on the third day. I'm assuming there is a third day because this quest has medium, and we know that I think the woman at St. Ursula said that was going to take 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. Brian. Nice. Ooh, Detective 6 class. The True Gladiator belt. Let's go. Slap that on Brandy. See you, friend. Alright, we finally made our way to the doll studio. A moving truck. What's going on here?
Meister, 本当に助かりました。なんとか明後日の公演に間に合わせられそうです。
まったくお前たちの劇団ときたら毎度毎度要求が高すぎる。
Your boy Heinz, huh? Heinz is the one that's always in that back room, huh? At Arkansas, he's always in the back. Looks like he's like, well, it looks like he's taking care of like something on the wall, but I never know. He's just always standing there.
オートマタの調整ならまだしも新たな舞台装置の発注まで。
You had to design an entirely new stage.
わしとて暇ではないのだぞ。
本当に申し訳ありません。
You over here laughing about it, but Meister Jorg, he's like, nah, this ain't really that funny.
何せイリアさんと劇団長からの要求が高くて。
But shout out to him for, hearing them out and getting it done.
ついあのような仕掛けまで追加発注させていただきました。
まあいいだろう。我が工房の技術、お前たちの舞台に生かす方がエイドスの意志にはかなうだろうからな。
No, for certain. The alternative, yeah. For certain. It's definitely better than helping out you know who.
あ、はあ。
Heinz is like, what the hell are you even talking about?
前々からお誘いしている通り、ぜひともアルカンシェルの公演をご覧になっていただきたいんですが。
Oh, they invited him. I feel like he is not gonna go, regardless. I don't think he cares.
いつも素晴らしい人形と舞台装置を提供していただいているわけですし。
You should really think about it, though. Maybe get out of this place sometimes.
相応のミラは受け取っている。わしは忙しいのだ。好意だけもらっておくとしよう。
はあ、 やっぱり応じてくれないか。
Of course.
せっかくの舞台装置、どのように使われているのか一度見てほしいんだけど。
That would be nice. Look at Heinz out here with a nice gesture.
おや、確か特務支援課の。
Yes, we are.
はい。
アルカンシェルの技師をされている方ですよね。
ええ、舞台装置を担当しているハインツです。
Yep, which explains why what I just said about him always messing with like some sort of equipment on the wall.
珍しい場所で会いますね。マイスターにご用ですか？
ええ、
Something
ちょっ
like that.
と相談に乗ってもらいたいことがありまして。
そちらは舞台用の装置を受け取りに。
Even though from the looks of it, doesn't seem like he's in the mood to listen to us. He just said he was busy. He would probably considers everything like he probably considers himself to always be busy anyway.
ええ、オートマタの調整と新しい舞台装置の製作をお願いしておりまして。
But you know what? He might give us the benefit of the doubt, though. Maybe, I don't know. Was gonna say because we knew Rin. I don't know.
リニューアル公演に合わせた無茶なスケジュールでしたが、なんとか仕上げていただきました。
He might tell us to fuck off.
いやー、劇団員一同、マイスターには足を向けて寝られませんよ。
I'm not surprised by that. He's going out of his way to do all this stuff for them.
なるほど。
そういや、アルカンシェルのリニューアル舞台の初公演はいよいよあさってなんだよな。
Yes, sir. Our girl Sully.
ええ、イリアさんをはじめ団員全員がかつてないほど気合が入っていまして、
Help Sully pops off.
舞台装置担当としても身が引き締まる思いですよ。
そうですか。さぞかしすごい舞台になりそうだね。
おっと、こうしちゃいられない。早く帰ってセットしないと。
Better get
皆さ
going,
ん、
bro.
私はこれでまた劇場にいらしてください。
はい、それではどうかお気をつけて。
It's a cool truck, though. The vehicles in Crossbows, they're looking nice. I can only imagine in other places.
アルカンシェルの舞台装置を手掛けてるってのは聞いていたが、ああいうところを見ちまうと怪しげな結社に関係している工房とは思えなくなるな。
Doesn't make me forget a damn thing. Definitely was a part of the 13 factories. Come on now.
そうね。
But just because it has ties to it doesn't necessarily mean he's still doing anything with them. Not trying to have his back or anything. I'm just saying. Because I got to give him a little bit of respect because he was definitely looking out for Rin. I can't just talk crazy about him.
とりあえず留守じゃなくて助かった。結社の動きについて話をしてもらえるかどうか。とにかく聞くだけ聞いてみよう。
はい。
虎穴にいらずんばってところかな。
That's usually how it goes. Gotta take the risk sometimes. All right, and I think with that being said, we'll probably call this because I gotta get on up out of here, like I said. But I'm coming back, and we'll pick up right here where we left off. So my plan before I go, the plan is, since we finally, we spoke to all the NPCs, we did all the side quests, the only thing that's left is to get this day over with. my goal might be, when I get back, my goal might be to end this day. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know how much more we have for this day. But fingers crossed. So you might end up getting a lot of parts, or we might not get through the day. I'm kind of hoping we do, because it'll make it a lot easier for us tomorrow when we record, because all we would have to do is just start with our patrol. You know what I mean? Get a fresh start. We have, just do our patrol. We won't have to jump into the end parts of this day. But that's enough rambling. I will see you guys when I come back. For you, it'll be like nothing, because you'll just be clicking on the next video. But for me, it's some hours. I'll see you.